Welcome everybody. How are you guys today? Hopefully better than me. Got the freaking vaccine today and I'm feeling not so great. Yeah, everybody keeps saying that the second dose is going to kill you. This is actually just the first one. I delayed it a lot, like a lot, because I don't like needles at all. I hate needles. So I delayed this one as much as I could. But yeah, I just didn't want to keep delaying it, I guess. Yeah. And like everybody keeps saying that the second one is the worst, Like, I don't like needles. Like, I procrastinated getting this one because I don't like needles. And like, no, I don't want to get the second one. But they gave me an appointment, so I can't escape anymore. What's up, Andres? Thank you so much for stopping by. We'll start in just a second. We're gonna call Yuji. I'm just making the guides the way that they were before. I'm not sure how I'm going to. I'm gonna have to edit this, fix this. Yeah, I'm gonna have to edit and fix this when I actually post the VOD in the channel, because otherwise people just hop in, look at and how the tier lists are made, and then they hop out, and that's not the idea. The idea today is for us to make a discussion, to talk to Yuji, because he told me that his list looks a little bit different. I know that a lot of people with good reason respect his opinion, so we're just going to talk to him and see how it turns out. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad I got it too. I just didn't get it before because I don't really go out all that much, other than like, the usual, just buying groceries and going to the gym, I guess. But like, I don't really like go out with friends or something like that. Like, just keep to myself. So I didn't feel like it was too necessary. But like, I was taking a stupid risk after all, so might as well just get it over with. Like, I have to do it anyway. Like, I have to get it anyway, so might as well just get it over with. And so yeah, so I heard that they opened a vaccination center closer to where I live today. So like, I was like, okay, well, fine. I'll just go and get it. All right. Froppy isn't high enough. She should be in F tier. Be careful with what you wish for. Be careful what you wish for. Have you guys gotten Mina S or double S yet? Because I haven't. I haven't done anything with Mina, honestly. How good is Dabby? We'll find out. We'll find out. You decided to chill with you with me for the first time. Well, I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did. I'm feeling the effects of the vaccine, so I'm not gonna be very high energy, but I'm gonna try. And yeah, I mean, if you're just studying, then music should be enough, right? It's very chill music. I really enjoyed this playlist. You got yours S and Takoyami SS. Well, congrats, because I don't have injection. So congrats. Hello, Himawaris. Thank you for stopping by. How are you guys? Okay, we're gonna call Yuji now. So let me just first. Well, no, let's just recap the tier list with him. Let me ask him if he can hop in right now. All right, let's call him. Are you there? Can you hear me? Oh, you're super low. It's weird. I have you on speaker. I don't know why you're so low. Oh, there you go.
My normal now?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what's been going on. Like, yeah, yesterday I joined a call and people were saying I was low too.
Yeah, it was like.
It just fixed itself after a couple.
Yeah, it was like you were like you weren't in speaker, right? You were in speaker, so I don't know what's up with that.
Well, at least it's good now.
Yeah. Do you have the stream open so that you can see the tier list? Because I don't know how to do it otherwise.
Yeah, I got it open.
Alright.
Well, what are we looking at here? Is this the PVE tier list?
No, this is the PvP and this is the PVE. Yeah.
Okay.
So the smaller one is the PVE, right? The one that has less tiers.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, because the stream is like on a little bit of delay.
Yeah, it's a little delay.
I didn't see what you were talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I was thinking we could do like a free-to-play one, and then like, I wouldn't say like super whale, but just like a spender one.
All right.
If that sounds good to you.
Sure. Let me open another one. Okay.
Yeah, and I mean, my perspective is pretty much going to be entirely PVE, so timed events and agency. I guess team up, but that's basically the same as agency.
Alright, so let's first then put Davi in the PvP tier list so that we can get that done with, and then we just do PvE for the rest of the stream.
Yeah, go for it.
So I'm pretty tempted to put Davi really. No, Simpin, you didn't miss the live stream every single time, dude. No, you didn't. You always get in time. So I'm tempted to put Davi pretty high. I'm not sure if he's going to be S. Probably next to Shi at the very least. He's very good because he won't let you approach him. Pretty much every single one of his abilities knocks you off, and so he's really annoying. He can just, if you get close to him, he'll just E, or not E, but Q or W, and he'll just knock you off, and then he won't permastun you. He doesn't have permastuns like Shigi, but he is very annoying. He's very annoying, and he also staggers you. I'm pretty sure he staggers you a little bit with his some of his auto attacks, not all of them. I think with Scorched Earth, he does. I think he's a pretty good character. I don't know. I'm tempted to rename this tier A plus and just put Dabi and Shigi there because I don't think Dabi is definitely not in the level of Stain or Endeavor or Momo. Obviously not Aizawa. Aizawa is just like the god of PvP, but I think Dabi fits well in A plus with Shigi. It's a character that you just he has solid mechanics. Just like Shigi, you just need to be very skillful with how you use them, right? Because like if you just spam abilities with Dabi, they're eventually just going to catch up to you and destroy your face. So I think I'm feeling confident putting him in A plus. Chat isn't saying anything, so I'm guessing that
rename the tier Diggy.
Diggy. Okay. So yeah, I think this is fine. He's a solid PvP. He's just not top tier like the others, like Stain, Hawks, Endeavor, and Aizawa.
Yeah, people in the Discord have been talking about. I think Dabi has an infinite combo. Like I don't know how to do it or anything because I don't PvP, but some people are saying he has an infinite combo. It's just 100 someone. But yeah.
Okay. I haven't really heard about that, to be honest. Like I know that Shigi does and Momo does. I know those two can do that. I haven't heard anything about Dabi, but I'm sure people are going to go crazy about it in the comments when I post the VOD. So yeah, we're just gonna leave it at that for now, and if we need to adjust this, we'll do it whenever the next character comes out. Hopefully next week. Next week we're probably gonna have an Endeavor rerun, but hopefully we get a new battle pass with Jiro. So. Anyways, let's move to PVE. Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. So, yeah, let's just do the free to play tier list first. I guess at the end of the day we'll just put him somewhere in this one, the more general PVE tier list. I guess we could call it.
Yeah. So, for the purposes of free to play, we're going to be making a couple assumptions when we compare these units. The limited units are going to be assumed to be S, just base resonance, and no EX.
Alright.
The S units from Class A, so Bakugo, Tokoyami, Shoto, and what's-her-face Momo, are going to be considered SS, because usually at this point in the game, like 2 months in, you should have been able to get enough shards from mock trial and just, the daily pull to SS. Most, anyone you want for, comparison purposes. And maybe have a single EX card for them. And as for the rest of the Class 1A that are like A rank and lower that aren't, Ojiro or Mina, we're going to be assuming that they're SSS. Right? It's
Alright.
very, very easy to get them to SSS, and within 2 months if you are farming hero trials daily and doing mock and that kind of stuff. And again, 1 EX, if you're focusing it on the EX banner, it's pretty easy to get at least 1 pity at this point. But those are going to be the assumptions going into this, so it's some of these heroes might be in a place where you wouldn't expect. But I think they're fairly self-evident. So first up is All Might. I see you already put him in.
No, I don't know what he's doing there. I don't know. He just moved there on his own.
Oh man, well you gotta move like 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces up maybe. All Might is definitely an S tier unit, even at S. His damage is not gonna be the highest in terms of single target, but it makes up for it in the fact that he is extraordinarily consistent. Basically nothing affects his damage at all. He's immune / super armored for like 90% of his combos, and like his cards synergy with, like, you know, Nomu Ecto, which is free, by the way. Ectoplasm is a free card. Are just so incredible that he's perfectly fine sitting up there at the top of S tier. Actually not at the top of S tier, because Stain, as an S rank limited, I believe, is just barely edges them out.
Stain is a god. All Might is trash, Stain is a god.
I heard it here first, folks. Stain is a god.
Yes.
But yeah, Stain, definitely S tier. And the only other unit I would actually put on this tier, for free-to-play players at least. Ito will get an honorable mention, but first let's talk about Stain. Stain, just like All Might, practically immune to damage, even more so because he only takes ones when he does get hit, and, like, even if you get stunned by, like, rocks or something, if you get stunned by rocks, an agency, or whatever, during your E, you maintain your damage reduction. Like, it doesn't matter if you get CC'd or whatnot, you still have that crazy 80% decrease that stacks with your gear that goes up to 100% decrease, so that you effectively only take 1 damage from everything. I don't know if you guys know this, but you can just straight up use the E and Blade Flurry in the Mud boss's Tornado phase. Just go in and phase tank the entire thing, take 5 damage for the entire thing. It's pretty amazing.
Yep. During the animation where
yeah.
you jump, you're also immune to damage. So if you're not in a blender when he goes into a tornado, you can still use your E, and then start attacking. You have plenty of time to use your E and then start attacking, and you won't take damage anyway.
Exactly, and that's why Stain, in my opinion, it just baseline, he does more damage at S.
Yeah.
Of course, this is at S.
Yeah.
He just does more damage. He has more. So more damage, just as survivable. Extremely easy to pilot. It's like a 2-button rotation. You just E and hold auto, and then, you know, press W in between while you're waiting for. Alright. On to the next one. I guess we should, let me talk about honorable mention Ida. Alright, Ida, class 1A, the god of single target. However, there's a big caveat to Ida, and it is that you must have hands and a brain to play this hero, and also perhaps Nomu. Nomu is... Ida with Nomu, the passive card, versus Ida without Nomu is night and day. The super armor, the damage, it's just so integral to having a good time while playing Ida. That's why I said I'm considering, you know, the class 1A heroes with a single EX/6-star card, because in my opinion, Ida needs Nomu more than his EX cards. Alright? Not to say that Nomu gives him more damage than his EX card, because his combo EX is actually insane. It's like one of the best EX cards in the game. Gives him an incredible amount of damage. But Nomu is so important for, you know, quality of life, just in general, for the hero. Again, with the caveat, he's a very high skill cap hero in terms of piloting. His rotation isn't super complicated or anything, but the requirement of maintaining combo in order to maintain your DPS is maybe not something that, you know, every player can or wants to do on a regular basis if you have Ida as your main. So if you invest in Ida, if you're good with Ida, if you're willing to put in the work to figure out how to play him against a multitude of extremely frustrating bosses, like Tesla, Hanzo, you know, Mud Boss has long invulns during Mach, like all this random jazz, like, he is probably the best. He is definitely the best. But if you're not willing to put in the work, if that's not your cup of tea, then Ida's not really going to perform very well. So that's my caveat for Ida. So he's either S tier or D tier. depending on what you are looking for in this game and the heroes that you play.
So we're just gonna put him tentatively on S. If you played long enough to have it eat a triple S, then you probably have something, right? Some at least cold shot. If not Nomo, at least cold shot, or maybe the Shigi card or something, right? Like I played since the start of the game, and I do have EX cards for Bakugo, Denki, Kirishima. So you must have something, at least.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
All right. Denki. Well, Denki is, in my opinion, like really good in AI PvP, like Scuba and Warzone. He's an amazing support, does a bunch of stuns. In PvE, not so much. Even at SSS, his damage is really crap. He's easy to play though, and he's pretty safe because he can just hit stuff from range. Like he is, a stereotypical range character, low damage, safe, easy to just do your maximum damage, but that maximum damage is very low. D tier for me. What about you?
Oh yeah, for sure. I did hero rating. I did hero ratings the other day with him. I have him. I think I just got him. I had just gotten him to triple S when I did hero ratings, and I was kind of shocked at how much damage he was dealing. Because
well, here's the thing.
Yeah.
Denki gets more time than other heroes, like significantly more time to hit the hero rating thresholds. I don't know if you've like paid attention to that, but like he gets almost twice as much time as like say Endeavor or something.
Yeah. No, but he still did it pretty quick. I should have taken a screenshot, but I was actually surprised that he was actually relatively quick. It's probably because his triple S passive. I think it increases damage against shock to enemies or something like that. So it is a straight up damage increase after all. So.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Also, I have one of EX. He has EX cards, so I guess that helped too.
Yeah, EX cards always help a lot, bro.
Yeah.
EX cards always help a lot. Let's see. Next is Kirishima. When I first played, I didn't have All Might on my account, so Kirishima was actually my para character. He kinda did work.
Yep.
He kinda did okay on manual. Like nothing special, but he carries his weight.
I love him.
If he's invested, but nothing special.
Yeah, I think the problem with Kirishima is like sometimes the bosses are a little passive, like the Night Ops boss, and they just don't give you too many windows to use your Q and really take advantage of your damage. I feel like he's too much of a reactive character to like sometimes he struggle with damage because he's too much of a reactive character. Maybe it's just the way that I play him. I don't know.
I have noticed though that like once you get that top right tree done and the 6-star chipset, it's like a massive. Like you can build his bar really, really quickly, even if no one is hitting you. And then like sporadic counters isn't a super, like it's still a huge part of his damage, but you can stay hot blooded or whatever it is, like most of the time. But still, I think he'd be C tier probably. A little more damage than Denki, but like again, nothing amazing, but pretty good for being a B, base B character.
Yeah, he's solid. He's okay, especially for when you're starting the game. I feel like, to me, I used him more than any of the other two, honestly, more than Deku and Denki, for sure.
Yeah, for
like
sure.
he just felt more solid, honestly, more reliable too. Especially when you were going like in higher BP recommended stages, he would just help out with his passive and stuff like that, with his quirk and stuff like that to not take damage, and it's just very reliable.
Yeah, imagine being Kirishima and then seeing Stain just have a way better version of your quirk on a basic ability. That's
Yeah.
all I'm saying.
That's so sad.
Oh man. Alright, next is Aizawa. Aizawa at S. fucking nice. It's just so nice. His damage is insanely good. Single target damage especially is where he shines. He is, if not, is at least tied for first, if not the best single target DPS out of all the limited heroes at S rank. They're already dragging him to S. I personally actually put him at A because his general use ability is, slightly worse off than heroes like Stain and All Might, who just cleave down everything super fast and still have very solid single target. But Aizawa was just an absolute machine. His rotation / mechanics might be a little bit more complicated to get into, but at the end of the day, they're not like terrifically difficult to pull off.
Yeah, I feel like Hawks is like miles more difficult to learn than Aizawa. Like, Aizawa is a little bit intimidating, or he was intimidating at first, because he was the first character that we had that was like that, complex. But I feel like since then we've had some other characters like Hawks that do require a lot more, finesse, I guess, to use.
Yeah, I mean, I agree to an extent. Like, yeah, I think like some of the rotations we've gotten isn't like terribly. Most of the difficulty in figuring these heroes out has been in trying to parse what the devs wrote in their skill descriptions rather than like actual difficulty in the character mechanics themselves, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right? Because I'm trying to figure like all this shit out just from like spamming random stuff in hero training, because like the skills are inaccurate, just a garbled mess depending on who we're talking about. And we don't have very good videos from Taiwan in terms of just like rotation guides or whatnot. So yeah, but in my opinion, Aizawa is a solid A, just because he is really amazing on single target and just melting bosses and stuff. Any like grouped up trash pulls, that kind of stuff, he doesn't have any grouping tools, and his AoE damage cleave is very, very limited. So that's why I put him a tier lower. But that's just my opinion. What do you think?
No, I like the original, like the tier list that we had before was exactly the same. Aizawa was in the second tier just because of that, because he doesn't have AoE. He has AoE, but it's not a very reliable AoE, right? Which is his quirk.
Yeah.
But it's just, you can't, like you said, you can't group your enemies, so you just depend either on other characters or RNG for the enemies to be grouped in order to actually get the most out of your quirk.
Yep.
Yep.
Alright. So we are going to be considering Tokuyami as at SS. And for those of you who don't know what his SS passive is, he gains 50 extra maximum points on his shadow meter, which I believe translates into 10% extra chance to rampage once you have his talents done. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not exactly looking at the description right now, but it is, I think it's 10% extra. I could be wrong.
I can look it up. Must be nice. I don't know. I don't have a single class AS rank S more than just S. So.
Oh wow.
I have the shittiest luck in that manner.
Yeah, dude. I have SS Bakugo, SS Toto. Actually, that's all I have. I just have to get to pity every single time for an S character. Every single time I've had to get to pity. The only one I pulled more than once is Bakugo, but just pulled him once or like twice, right? So he's still at S. So freaking trash. All Let me
right.
see here. here. Every 10 points increased by 2%. Yeah, so it is 10%. It's 10% extra rampage chance. I think total with chipset and everything included, his rampage goes up to about 55% chance to rampage at max shadow meter if you are SS Toko, which is very solid. Like, rampage is a huge buff, and you can compound that with quirk. Because if you use your quirk during liberation mode, you get a massive attack speed damage buff, and it's just crazy burst. It's insane. I put him at not. I guess he would be B tier on this, but like in my opinion, it. Yeah, he'd be one of the best in B tier, for sure.
Yeah. I haven't used him in ages, honestly. Like, I really liked him at first when I first pulled him, but I slowly just liked him less and less. But it's not because of how good or bad he is. It's just I don't like his playstyle that much. I feel like I don't know, his animations are not very punchy. They're not very satisfying to me. And also, I find it really annoying that they're so flashy. They occupy the entire screen, and I don't know what's going on.
I actually love Toko, and I still love Toko, but his damage is weird. Like, he has good damage, but at the same time, it's only good, and 55% rampage is still relatively unreliable. I've had, because remember that's only at maximum shadow meter, and you will rarely get to like absolute maximum shadow meter when you activate and go liberation mode. So
yeah, damage
is good, unreliable, has decent AoE and grouping capabilities, but you know, he's no All Might, he's no Stain.
Yeah, he's no Stain, exactly.
Yeah. Alright. Next up, Deku, Mr. Useless.
Yeah.
Just like his name. Deku.
Oh.
Oh, it got some stuttering going on. Good.
Can you hear it? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, we're having some connection issues. What'd you say?
Deku, D for Deku, bro.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh man.
I have the Deku Ultimate Guide. I've had it for like over a week now. I just keep delaying making it, but I should really get on it tomorrow. We should probably post it tomorrow. Mostly for the new game mode, but the new game mode just the fact that you can't like use chips or talents or anything really shows how crappy Deku is. Really, his cooldowns last forever. It's so annoying. It's just even if you do refresh your Q with your W and stuff like that, they still last forever. He really struggles with damage. If you don't have your buffs on, then you're gonna take forever to kill your enemies. Like CC is just pretty much non-existent, especially against bosses with hyper armor and stuff like that. Like, extremely annoying to use him because he doesn't get hyper armor through a lot of his abilities, so he can get knocked off, and he requires a very precise set of a very precise way in which you need to use his abilities in order to use him effectively, because you need to like jump on an enemy with his Q, but then you have to go back down to the ground because otherwise you won't hit your enemy. It's just very annoying, a very annoying to use character. It's just like really unreliable.
I will make a note and say that because this is the free-to-play guide, we're not taking into account a specific card combination that makes him like maybe B tier, I guess. But we'll talk about that in the next tier list.
Yeah,
I think.
for sure.
Alright, next up is Bakugo.
Yeah.
Bakugo is a glass cannon. He pumps more damage than any other Class 1A character besides Ida, I think. But he will also just fall over. He has no damage reduction in his kit, and all of his damage is kind of centered around just standing still and blasting. So when you get to those high assessment floors, if you're not like insanely over geared, over DP, you will just die, or you're just not gonna do the crazy damage that he's capable of because you're forced to dodge instead of blast. With that being said, though, definitely solid B tier. I mean, he's great. His SS power spike is really big. The difference between S Bakugo and SS Bakugo is basically just a flat 40% damage from his passive. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, he's super good. I really like him. He was my first Class A rank S character for a while. I didn't pull any other S ranks for a while. So I geared him up like with everything I had. To this day, he's one of my highest BP characters just because I invested so much in him, and it's just so much fun. The only thing is, like you said, yeah, you need like surgical precision in order to position yourself optimally and not die. He's just pretty much like a worse version of Stain, like pretty much.
Yep. All right. Next one, Ojiro. S+ tier. Best tier in the game. But no, seriously. A big part of Ojiro's stigma, I think, is that you need to heavily invest in his talents for him to, like, actually do anything remotely close to, like, being playable, just because so much of his kit is locked behind talents and resonances. So, and as a free-to-play player, you're not going to invest in a character that's basically a meme in the community at this point. And I myself have not done that kind of testing or anything because I'm free-to-play as well. I don't have the resources to do that. That being said, since this is a free-to-play tier list, yeah, D tier, he is really bad. I have a sneaking suspicion he is actually at least decent, but again, haven't had the investment or whatever to actually test him out. And as a free-to-play player, most of you guys are not gonna have that kind of investment to put into something that's only maybe decent.
Yeah, no, it's a shame because he looks so much fun. I've seen people that know how to play him, and he looks like a lot of fun. He looks like you could have a good time with him, but like, there's a reason why you never ever see them in agency assessments or anything, pretty much, honestly.
All right, Mineta.
Yeah.
Mineta is interesting in that he actually has a great bike at SSS. And I don't have him at SSS, so I can't, like, super test out how amazing he would actually be, but he should be top of C tier, bottom of D tier, just in theory. Like, he has really strong synergy between his passives and his talents. But there's a big thing holding him back, and that's cards. He has pretty bad synergy with most cards that aren't 6-star cards. Like, he's all skill damage, but he doesn't stack mustard very well at all. Like, he also doesn't really stack the likes of Cold Shot very well because he does have, like, one big thing, his Q, that hits very rapidly and stuff. But you want Cold Shot to be fully procced for, like, your entire Gatling gun, and it probably won't until about halfway through, so you're losing value on that. Same situation as Shiggy. That being said, Shiggy Cold Shot probably his best 2 cards. Having 2 of those is not super free-to-play friendly, and he won't really shine until SSS+. I don't know if you've read his talents or looked at them, or his passives, I mean, or looked at them very closely, but it actually gets very, very big buffs at SSS and SSS Plus.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really try. I try to avoid looking closely at him because I want to sleep at night. But
Fair enough. That has been against me every time. But yeah, I mean, if we're assuming that he's SSS with like a single 6-star card, top of C, bottom of B, seems like mostly right.
Yeah.
He has pretty good AoE, pretty good burst. It's just takes a little bit more investment to hit his maximum potential. Next up, Momo.
All right, but before we go on, there's people in the chat that they've been asking why did you put Ida on S and Aizawa on A when you said that Aizawa is on A because he doesn't have AoE, but Ida is still on S and he doesn't have AoE either.
It's just a matter of scale, cause Ida, like, they're both quote-unquote single target, except that Ida does like 5 times more single target damage. So like just the sheer quantity of damage that Ida is pumping out is so insanely ridiculous that it really doesn't matter. Like when you get ramped up and like even something as simple as a Nezu will just wipe out a trash pack because of like all the damage scaling that you get. And even if it takes a little bit longer, you can kick trash down one at a time, like surprisingly fast. I don't know if you've done a lot of agency with Ida, but like even if enemies are not grouped, you can get from pack to pack very quickly and efficiently with your Q or your W, and they will melt. They will absolutely just disappear if you are like 150 plus speed. So that's why I have Ida up there. And just the fact that his damage stealing is like literally 5 times Aizawa. This is not like an exact, like Ida will just pump insane amounts of damage if you know how to play him. And I don't know if they were here while we talked about Ida, but like again, I said he's conditional. Depends on like who you are as a player, what you're looking for in the game. So yeah, you can say this. Well, you can't because they're both single target focused, but Aizawa just does 1/5 the damage. Like, am I supposed to put someone that does 1/5 damage of another unit in the same tier as that unit? Like, that doesn't make any sense, right? So that's the reason.
Yeah. Okay. So he just climbs out of just sheer damage, just brute force his way into S, pretty much.
Kind of just kicks his way into S over the skulls of Stain and All Might. But yeah, who are we on now? Momo?
Yeah. Momo.
Okay, so Momo, she's actually just supposed to be a support character. At SS, she gets better at support, and her rotation is a little bit like smoother in terms of keeping buffs up. But her overall damage is not super amazing. And she is very, very reliant on having super armor or Dance with the Wind, something like that. I would say her best cards would be Dance with the Wind and Mastermind, and if you have that combo, she's probably A tier actually, but Dance with the Wind is not an accessible card even for whales. And only Nomu is like slightly unreliable. But overall, damage-wise, she's actually like fairly decent if you give her some super armor to work with. So I would put her at the bottom of B tier.
Alright. Alright, she climbed her way back up. She's been up and down, honestly. I think that's where I put her first, and then people took her down, I think. No, actually, it was the other way around. She was the same place for me, and they made me put her higher for some reason. So, yeah, she's just been up and down, honestly. Like, whales keep telling me that she's trash, and free-to-plays keep telling me that she's better than she seems, so we'll see when we get to the other one.
I mean, for like, again, her damage scaling is not that great, and for Whales, her main utility is the fact that she will just increase your old team's damage by a very significant amount. That's the, that's the Whale perspective. But yeah, on damage rating, she's nothing special. Bottom would be Ochako, Uraraka. This is like, I think the majority of free-to-play players have her at least somewhat invested because she's fairly simple to just, like, do decent damage on. Like, especially the Meteor Storm is super satisfying and is great at dealing with trash and that kind of stuff. Where she falls off, though, I think, is, like, her sustained single target is not that great, and she really does need some super armor once you get to higher levels of assessment, because like a lot of bosses and stuff can slap you out of the air.
Yeah, that's my biggest gripe with her, honestly, the fact that she doesn't have any hyper armor whatsoever in any of her abilities. Everything is interruptible. It's just so annoying.
Yeah. Like, at SSS, I'd put her at, like, on the lower end of B tier, like, around, like, obviously her damage is going to be better than Momo, like, she has more AoE, more just cleave, that kind of stuff, but, again, like, she's still a Class A rank unit, so it's nothing super special. So I'm a B tier.
Alright.
Up to you.
Yeah, no, yeah, I agree, totally. She used to be much better, but as more and more limited characters come out, she just gets outshined.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yep. Alright, Shoto now.
Shoto. Shoto gets a decent power boost at SS. He's relatively decent. Biggest gripe with him is that he feels super clunky to play and kind of needs a lot of investment in terms of cards to really shine. So, but his overall damage potential is actually not bad at all. He has very good AoE, he has good utility with the freezes, he has pretty decent damage, but still it's definitely on the lower side of damage. I would say he's B tier, below Bakugo, but above Momo. About the power level of Ochako in terms of damage, but just, not amazing, not bad. It's Shoto.
Yeah, I mean, I like him. The only problem with him, especially in like agency assessments and stuff like that, is that it feels so bad to miss his abilities.
Yes, absolutely. Like, playing with an All Might just makes me want to AFK on Shoto.
Yeah. Another reason why All Might is trash.
Okay.
F2P time. Okay, there's a lot at stake here.
There's a lot at stake. I know we got some F2P stands. But yeah, I mean, D tier. Listen, F2P is an absolute god. I think everyone should invest in her. She carries Super Co-op and Warzone incredibly hard, but like, I have an SSS F2P, okay, and I have tried her in agency, I've tried her on manual, I've tried her on auto, and her damage is just not there, okay? Her damage is just not there. For PVE stuff, there are very, very specific instances where she is actually really, really good, and that is Virtual Battleground, and some of the lower mock trial stages where you are not super far away from the boss when you spawn in. Because at SSS, she gets a huge burst when she poisons something for the first time, and if you ever Talent Stun, she has a very large 100% attack boost after using her Empowered W. And all these combined, like, if you throw a Cellophane on her too, like, her initial Alpha Strike burst is absolutely insane. I have seen F2P be at 900k DPS in the first crash pool on forest training, okay? 900k. Like, she will actually just one-shot the entire pack with an empowered W plus active. And then she kind of just doesn't do anything. So, for free-to-play players, we're not going to have those super strong actives and stuff. Like, C tier, B, like high C, low B. It's kind of hard to say exactly where she is, but I think I would put her in like C tier for general PvE purposes.
Yeah, she's just a character that requires a lot of setup, honestly, to just really do stuff. You need to keep your opponents poisoned at all times, and also like her empowered abilities are cool, but they're hard to land. It's hard to just use her overall. Like even the F2P stamps themselves, they usually say that her on auto is just overall better than using her manually, just because she's a little too complicated to use. She's just too mechanical.
It's
I
not
guess.
even like super. It's just that her kit is like clunky and like difficult to like actually use manually, if that makes sense. Like the idea behind it is not very hard, but just I don't know, something about how clunky it is, or like how the inputs are registered. Like half the time I just end up canceling my abilities with dodges instead of like actually doing it.
Yeah.
Endeavor. Contrary to 500 Belief, Endeavor is really bad for free-to-play players. His damage is actually the lowest out of all the limited units at S rank, like by a very significant margin. Very significant. I will say his Spear EX card is the best EX card in the game. Even at LB1, it just increases damage potential by double amounts. I think Ida's LB0 combo EX card is like 40% damage increase. That's basically what Endeavor's Spear card does. Like, maybe it's a little bit weaker, but it's almost as good. And if you have his Spear card, he is just, I would still say he's like A rank in terms of general PvE purposes, just because the base damage is just so low at this level of resonance. But it does take him like to near the top of A rank instead of being like really bottom of the barrel in A rank. But I still think that he deserves a spot in A rank. He is very reliable damage wise. And you can actually do pretty decent damage with him in like agency, because if you just face tank stuff to keep your health low at all times, his damage is solid. His damage is very solid. It's just at a baseline level, he needs a lot of resonances to really start shining.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like a motto for the community at this point, honestly, that Endeavor is good if you have him SS and have his Lance card, but, I mean, in agency assessments, for example, I really like him because he's quite the opposite to Trash All Might, in that he actually brings utility to the team. He will group enemies with his Charge W and his Lance E. He'll just group enemies, which is usually pretty useful for a lot of characters, instead of freaking Trash All Might just pulling enemies away. So just because of that, I really like, even if he was B tier in terms of damage and stuff like that, I just really like that. He's like a very nice, he feels like a nice utility support unit in agency assessments.
Yeah. I agree.
Also, he won't die ever if you know how to play him correctly.
If you have hands, he won't die, guys.
Yeah.
Just please have hands. Also, Endeavor auto is just disgustingly bad. Please don't auto with him on high floors if just don't do it, dude.
But
Auto Endeavor, I've watched it. He spends half the entire run just punching Like, what?
But if you do run around the city with him and you do your dailies and stuff in the missions where you have to rescue people, it's just so freaking funny because he's just holding his lance and he goes to rescue someone, but because the lance is dealing damage to him, he can't rescue them. So he just stands there.
No.
He just stands there for a while, a little confused, and he's like, "Oh yeah," and then he just throws the lance and then he rescues people. It's just so funny.
Yeah. No, wait, I have a
I don't know. I just find it really, really funny. It's just he just stands there a little confused for a while, and then he realizes what he's doing wrong. All right, now Shiggy.
Shiggy.
Yeah.
Shiggy, super solid at S. I will say he's carried a little bit by his type category. Tech units overall are just lower on the damage scale because devs, I guess. I don't really know why, but techs don't innately have super great damage. But Shiggy is really good. At S, he out damages Endeavor on single target by a significant margin. I actually put him in the S category, personally, but he is very good damage. His auto is absolutely quite good. It's not nearly as good as his manualing, but I mean, I know a lot of people like to play on auto, so I'm kind of taking that a little bit into account here. But yeah, Shiggy is just super solid. He doesn't have any grouping abilities, but his abilities in general have like decent cleave. And he kind of just AoE decays people when Nomu is out and your quirk is up, so he will still be doing some decent AoE. I think he belongs in A tier. He's a little bit on the squishier side, considering how up close and personal he has to play. So it can be a little bit trickier to use him. But I would put Shiggy solidly in A tier.
Yeah. A lot of people, like, she is another one of those cards that, like, kind of have, like, sort of a stigma, like, attached to them. Or not a stigma, but, like, I don't know, there's, like, people automatically repeat something when it comes to certain characters, like with Endeavor. All you need is this, and his lance card for him to work. Well, Yuji, it's like, well, you have to play him on auto. He's really good on auto. He's the auto character, blah, blah. I don't usually play auto either, honestly. I don't understand what's fun about that, other than like maybe the lower agency floors that I just can't be bothered. But yeah, he's fine on auto, and also he's just, again, inherently so freaking funny. I can't. This character is one of my favorites just because it's so funny to see, like, a hobo running around trying to hug people or slap them, and then his buff friends just comes out and starts like smashing their faces in, and he just stands aside and is just laughing. It's just I can't. It's just so funny.
Animations are really silly. I agree.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, man.
Hawks now.
Hawks is great. Like, Hawks was the first, like, entirely new hero we got on Global, and everyone was saying, "Oh, Hawks trash. He is amazing. This man is not trash, bro." And if you have Mastermind, which is, I feel like a lot of people have Mastermind just because they were going for Nomu and got Mastermind.
Yeah.
Like, probably half of the people, even, I would say. But he is amazing with or without Mastermind, first of all. He is amazing with or without Mastermind. With Mastermind, however, his trash clearing and, like, just overall maintaining his damage throughout an agency run becomes much, much better. But without Mastermind, like, you can play to plan around having feathers and ult for a boss and just completely delete a boss. I did a 418 with a buddy, and now this was a whale buddy. They had SSS plus Hawks. But this is the first and only time I have ever seen Hanzo die before phasing before doing any bullshit with tornado or sharks or anything. Literally, we spawned in, he threw like 5 water pills. I was absolutely in shock. Like, it was a Hawks and an Aizawa, and like, I don't even remember who I was playing, and it really didn't fucking matter because they absolutely blasted that boss. S-Hawks, though, back to the point. S-Hawks, great, amazing character. Top of A. I would say he's even better than Aizawa in the A tier. Even though he might be a little bit more difficult to pull off, as soon as, like, his synergy with cards like Ecto, Ragdoll, Nomu, May, Mustard, whatever, he has great synergy with all the good damage cards. Whatever damage card you have, if you put it on him, it's going to do work, and he scales great with it. If you have Mastermind, he becomes more consistent throughout the run, but he pumps out plenty of damage without it, especially considering that if you are not running Mastermind, you're running another damage card that will amp like his damage even further. So there is that too, which is what I think Aizawa is just absolutely amazing. Did I say Aizawa? I meant Hawks.
Yeah. I don't know. I liked him when he came out, but I feel like he requires, especially if you don't have Mastermind, he requires such like incredible coordination to use his abilities properly, use their combo properly. I really don't enjoy playing him because I need to focus so much in using him effectively. Because if you run out of cooldowns, if you don't have feathers, if you don't have something, his auto attacks are just so awkward. I feel like they're so awkward. He just swings back and forth. It's just really, like, I don't know, very clunky. It might just be because I don't have Mastermind that I find him so clunky, because it takes me a while to actually get to his ult.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think I played him like 5 times since I pulled him, and I just dropped him because I just don't enjoy him. I'm gonna try to pull Mastermind, and hopefully then I can see if I enjoy him a little bit more. But as of now, I can't enjoy him because I'm just focused the whole time in pressing the right buttons at the right time, and I just don't enjoy the bow.
That makes sense. I have played Hawks both with and without Mastermind because I pulled Mastermind like very recently on my Hawks account. But I've been playing him very regularly even before I got Mastermind, and his overall damage is actually mostly the same. Like, I won't say it's the same. Mastermind definitely gives you more the longer the run is, but like being able to run like, you know, an extra damage card, just pure raw damage, in place of Mastermind is a big, makes up for the fact Mastermind, because now you just hit harder instead of ulting more often. And I have had 100k plus DPS runs in like whatever, like forest training, any agency. Now granted this was boosted, but this is both with and without the Mastermind card. And also keep in mind that my Hawks is only 50k BP. My chips are trash. I can't farm chips because there's a freaking obstacle course event. I can't get good chips for him anyways when I do farm chips, so like it's whatever. His chips are level 1, he's 50k BP, he slaps.
Yeah.
So that's why I put him top of A. And yeah, I see where you're coming from, Jay. Like, his playstyle definitely not for everyone, but if you like his playstyle, if you're willing to, you know, put in the work and learn him and like just play with him, he will just carry. Like, he's an amazing character.
For sure. Okay, now to the big disappointment, Mina. So sad.
Listen, my Mina is A, and I don't think she's ever gonna hit S unless I get really lucky in pulls, because I don't even think just naked Battle Pass gets you to S. Like, it gets you close, but it doesn't get you to S.
No, if you buy the premium one, it gets you to S. If you buy the ultra one, it gets you to SS.
Gotcha. Yeah, so like stuff that I'm not gonna do.
Yeah.
But A rank Mina is absolute garbage, like any other hero at A rank, to be honest. S rank Mina, probably a little better, but I really don't see your damage going up by that much. So this is free to play. I'm not even gonna consider anything above S. For a character like Mina, because she is basically as hard to get to SS like a limited character, because your rate of pulling a specific class A hero on the banner is very, very low, because you can't target pull them. You're competing with all the other A ranks in the game to pull a Mina, so it's actually just as hard to like SS Mina as it is to SS, you know, a limited character. Not to mention the fact that you need more copies. So S Mina, not good. Like, really not good.
Yeah, D tier for sure. Well, I mean, there is going to be a difference between A and S, just because on S you can actually do,
yeah,
you have more talents, which is just ridiculous. I never even knew that you can only do one talent tree branch in A. That is insane.
Yeah. Like honestly, a lot of heroes just need all 3 talent trees to really shine, and I think it's so bad that, you know, she can't even get 2, you know, for quite a while, if you're not lucky.
Yeah, no, for sure. For sure. You have to be lucky, or you have to put like at least $10 in the game, so.
Yeah. Alright, Davi.
Okay, we finally get here.
Installment, and I'm sure everyone's been waiting on this one. So, what are your thoughts, Jay? Let's hear them before anything else. What are your thoughts?
People, as usual, as people do, just call him trash, same as they did with Hawks, as they did with Shiggy, as they did with Stain. They just like to call new characters trash. But I really, 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 really like Dabi. I was really surprised the first time around when I tried him on agency assessments, because obviously his damage comes from his Q mostly, so I was like really underwhelmed with the damage that I was dealing, and then I pressed Q in inflame mode, and like I jumped to the first place in damage just like that. And it's like, okay, well, that's where his damage is coming from for sure. It's just very, very satisfying to play. I really like his animations and stuff. It's just a very satisfying character to play with. I think he's solid. I wouldn't say he's S, but maybe A. Pretty, I would say.
Yeah, I agree. As a tech character, again, he's just, I don't know why devs hate tech characters, but they just give him like a lower like par for DPS. And Dabi is at the top of that. Like, his single target is at least on par with Shiggy, if not better. It's hard for me to compare them because I don't have them on the same account, so I don't have the same cards to test or anything. And while there's similar BP, like, cards make a very big difference. Like, on one account I have Nomu 2 and like Shiggy and Kolcha, and on the other account I don't.
Yeah.
I don't have anything comparable, so I can't really test them in a super equivalent settings. But Dabi is definitely on par, if not better. I will say his rotation is probably the hardest one we have so far. Is very demanding to get the maximum 6 Qs per special. That is possible. Most of the time, though, you're probably only going to get like 3 to 4 in an agency run, just because of like boss motion or anything else. But yeah, he feels very much like, you know, an artillery mage type of deal. Like, if you played MMOs or like that sort of game, like, he's very stationary, and he just does all his damage while standing in place and just blasting shit, and that is so satisfying to me. But again, like, there are some bosses that he really struggles on.
Yeah.
Like Tesla.
Yeah.
Tesla is not a good time. Spike boss, not a good time. But his damage is like seeing those. I have gotten 1,000,000 damage crits on his Q.
Yeah.
Okay, 1,000,000. No boost. All right, no boost, and 50k BP. 1,000,000. You know who else hits for 1,000,000? My SS, 67k BP. All Might.
Yeah. Trash.
Yeah, trash. Exactly. And you know what? I'm sorry, no. Oh my god, why am I saying 100k? Oh my god. Alright, I'm sorry, I'm trolling you guys. Wait, no, I'm not trolling you guys. It is actually 1,000,000.
Yeah.
I'm trolling myself.
Dude.
But yeah, it's actually insane how much damage that Q can do, especially when you crit in the flame mode.
Absolutely. Yeah, I have him. I actually have him with one of his EX cards, the flat damage one. I have him with Cold Shot, Nomu, and Shigi, and I just go into co-op 9. I just carry runs on, like, it's not even a competition. I just doesn't matter if it's Endeavor, if it's Dane, if it's All Might, if it's Hawks, anybody. I just carry. He's like, he's just a monster. He's a monster. I love him. I love him so much.
Yep. If someone asks in chat SS Davy or SS Endeavor, I know everyone says SS Endeavor with Spear card is like when he's actually good, but I would say that that's when he actually becomes on par with the other limited characters, so I would still give it to SS Davy, but like they're about the same, honestly, at SS.
Yeah. All right, so this...
I need to go grab some water before we start on the next one, because I'm dying here.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
All right. We're gonna take a screenshot, guys, so that we can post it in the server, because I always forget to take screenshots. So this is the free-to-play. It's the free-to-play tier list for PVE, guys. All right, we already did PvP. I didn't take a screenshot because, of course, I never do. But this is the PVE free-to-play tier list. I'm gonna post it in the Discord server. Link is in the description if you want to join. So yeah, guys, now we're going to reset and we're going to do the same thing, another tier list for PvE, but this time we're going to do it for whales, right? This is going to be a whale tier list, because if you guys don't know, whales or triple S plus characters are like, it's a completely different world. You'll see in a few minutes. It's a completely different world. If you're a whale, you're just on another level. I've had so many whales over time come to me and tell me like they didn't understand the tier list, because to them it's just completely different. So so we're gonna see how that works. So if you're new to the channel, guys, remember to subscribe, leave a like. Helps a lot. We were really close a while ago, or earlier today we were really close to 1.3k subs. So if you can subscribe, that would be awesome. We make guides and tier lists pretty much every single week. That's what my channel is all about. If you've seen the ultimate character guides, or oh, we did hit 1.3k. Well, thank you guys so much for 1.3k subs. If you guys don't know, in my channel we make Yuji and I, the person I was just talking, we make ultimate guides for characters. So I'm sure like most of you have seen the ultimate support card tier list. You've seen the talent tree guide, the character ultimate guide. All of those were made by Yuji and me, which is really like this game, and we're very dedicated to making content. So make sure that you guys drop a like, subscribe if you're not, and yeah, we're just waiting for Yuji to make now the whale PvE tier list. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. So stuff like, for example, let me see, stuff like All Might, well, more like Endeavor, honestly. Endeavor, you're gonna see, it's just a completely different world when you can pull all of his cards, break through his cards, when you have him triple S plus, when you have all of the passives, because the passives usually make a huge difference in characters. And like you heard it here, like Bakugo, S and SS Bakugo is just a huge leap right? Same with Endeavor S to SS, and obviously triple S plus is going to be another huge difference. Froppy becomes a lot better at triple S. There's a lot of characters that just spike, right? They get huge spikes in potential, I guess you could say. So yeah, it's just very different. Hello, Andrew. Thank you for stopping by. So yeah, let me know, guys, what you think in the chat. Did you agree with the previous tier list? Would you have done any differently? You know, usually, you guys tend to agree with me on these tier lists for the most part, right? Well, usually I do ask you guys what you guys think, so we all have some input into the tier list. But whenever I post a VOD, I just have so many people arguing about positioning, right? Like, especially All Might, because you know we all know All Might deserves to be in D tier, but people are very confused, and so they put him higher. But you know, it's just people being confused, so we forgive them.
Yeah, and keep in mind that previous tier list is assuming that I'm back, by the way. But anyways, previous tier list is assuming that your limited characters are S, your 1A S rank characters are SS, and your 1A A rank characters are SSS. Okay, that is the baseline assumption for that tier list.
For sure. All right, we can get started with the other one now. Let's just put All Might in D right away.
We know you hate him, Jay.
Dude,
know you hate him.
he's so annoying. He's so annoying. If you go to PvP and you're winning a match and All Might is their last character, they'll just spam tornadoes, and then you lose because they spam tornadoes. And people keep saying, "Oh, you can choose, you know, attack him when he's not doing his tornadoes." When he's not doing his tornadoes, he has hyper armor because he's going into his tornadoes. So he's just extremely annoying to deal with in PvP when they play like rats. And then like agency assessments is also very annoying because it drags enemies away. Like, it's just an annoying character to play with and against. Like Scoop, Warzone, like, incredibly annoying. And don't even get me started on his stupid active card. I hate this character.
Right. I got bad news for you, Jay. SS plus All Might is S tier, possibly the number one S tier. But there are always different levels of whales, and it's kind of hard to a good idea, especially since I'm a free-to-play, so I'm really just working off of what I read from the talents and what I get from like talking to people in Discord, that kind of stuff. But regardless of that, SSS plus All Might solidly in S tier. Where exactly he falls in S tier, not entirely sure, but top 3 for sure.
All right.
Thank you. Oh man, you know what? I think for my purposes, it would actually be easier for me to just go down the tier list and put who I think where instead of like going across on the bottom.
All right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I think next in S tier would be Endeavor.
All right. Just try to leave Dabby for the end so we can keep the surprise and the viewers.
Yeah, sounds good. Endeavor. Every resonance, he just gets more and more powerful, and if you are a whale, you're going to have strong active cards, and Endeavor scales those active cards the most out of every character. Okay? Endeavor just passively gets like over 300% attack percent or something. Something crazy like that, and when you translate that attack increase over to act LB4 Mount Lady that's doing like 2,500% damage in a burst, this is absolutely insane. Andy, definitely S tier. Next would be probably Shiggy. Okay. I want to say it's gonna be Shiggy. The reason being, he gets so much damage from resonances, man. Like, that decay and like all the damage increase increase he gets, the attack increase, the ultimate amp, like all that stuff just scales extraordinarily well. He actually supports your party too because he shreds enemies. It's just going to be all doing a lot more damage, added on to the fact that he himself is just pumping damage. And while All Might and Endeavor are both like 2 damage trees plus 1 like healing defensive tree kind of deal, Shiggy just has 3 straight damage trees. And while his third keystone is like not amazing for damage, it is still like an entire tree just devoted to damage. So that's why he scales really well once you get him to like even just SS is a solid increase, and then as you go higher he gets better and better and better, putting him at S for whales.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm actually going to have trouble like separating these into like very distinct tiers because, well, once again, like a lot of this is just conjecture, educated guesses from reading their descriptions and like talking to whales or playing with them in agency. So you guys are gonna have to take this with a bit more pinch of salt and just realize that these tiers are gonna be probably a little bit more flexible compared to the previous one.
For sure.
Next up, Hawks, baby. Hawks. Hawks gets damage at every resonance except for SSS, and SSS is actually kind of more damage too because it lets you ult more, and ulting more means more damage for Hawks. So Hawks' S to SS is actually the biggest power boost in the game. He gets something on the order of just 90% flat attack at basically all points in time. So yeah, Hawks, incredibly amazing at SS, incredibly amazing at SSS plus, just super solid, just slaps people with damage. And once again, he's a character with 3 damage trees on the talent tree. So, very helpful.
And he looks cool. And he looks cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we can go to... Like, this is maybe A tier, maybe S tier, but next is going to be Aizawa. Aizawa has a very, very large single target damage boost at SSS, but at the end of the day, like, going to SSS Plus really doesn't improve his general kit in terms of like AoE and that kind of stuff. And I feel like his like AoE potential is just lower than Shiggy and Hawks, even if his single target damage is on par or even slightly higher. That's why I put him at A. But again, remember, this is flexible. He's definitely very, very close to the rest of them, and his single target damage is absolutely better. Okay, it's absolutely better. It's just that, in terms of overall usability, maybe a little bit on the weaker side.
All right.
Next would be Stain. All right. This is a very, very common thing that a lot of people say. Stain doesn't scale very, very well at SSS Plus. Skills of saying some random shit about PvP, and this is a PvE tier list, so I'm just going to ignore that for now. This is a PvE tier list. Has nothing to do with PvP, and this is also at SSS Plus, okay? So keep that in mind. This is the Whale PvE tier list. So, anyways, Stain. Stain doesn't scale super well, okay? A lot of his damage budget is in his true damage from his chips. And while true damage is absolutely amazing, it doesn't scale with crit, doesn't scale with penetration, doesn't scale with any of the stuff that you get from gear BP besides flat attack. And another thing is that Stain doesn't really have access to a lot of attack increases. You know, heroes like All Might, Aizawa, Shiggy, Endeavor, Hawks, whatever, are getting like 200% plus attack percent bonus as part of their kit, whether from cards, from talents, from passives. They're getting over 200% attack. Stain? Like 100. 150, maybe. It just doesn't scale that well. And then when you have so much of his damage budget being true damage, when you get to that high BP, like all that crit, all that pen you're getting, all that damage increase you're getting is just, it doesn't do anything for you on that true damage. So that is why he's so much lower here compared to the other tier guide. It's just he still does the exact same thing, but his damage doesn't scale as well. So A tier.
A tier?
Yeah.
That's really surprising, honestly. I didn't know that. That's really shocking considering how godly he is in for free to plays.
Yeah, he is absolutely super godly as free to plays, but like everything scales like by incredible amounts when you take it to SSS plus, like 90k, 100k BP, and then Stain just has like half of his damage that just doesn't scale with any of that. That's why he kind of falls off.
Interesting.
Yeah. I want to just kind of put the rest of the Class A character. Okay, first of all, Ida, chuck him up there in A. I mean, there's an argument for him to be an S, but at this point, everyone is doing so much damage. It doesn't really matter that Ida is doing like 5-10 times that amount of damage, you know?
Yeah.
Ida proportionally still does way more damage than everyone else, but right now the damage floor at SSS Plus is so high that it really doesn't matter. And it even hurts a little bit because if you're killing shit really, really fast, Ida doesn't have time to ramp up and hit his damage potential anymore, right?
Yeah.
Like, you really want the fight to be like a minute 30, 2 minutes for Ida to really start shining. And then, like, if you're just deleting stuff in 30 seconds, then, you know, why are you using Ida, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, if you're doing something like boss raid, Ida is going to be number one every single time. If you see those people that are doing 10, 20, 100 times your damage in boss raid, they are not hacking. They might not even be whales. They just have a really built SSS plus Ida. Like, even my Ida is going to be SSS plus in, like, a week and a half, just from farming hero trials and stuff. And, like, right now it's day 2, and I've met 20 million damage on boss raid. Like, it's pretty crazy. It's cracked.
Yeah, that's insane. That's insane, but it's funny that he kills stuff too fast. Suffering from success.
Suffering from success, absolutely. And now that we just have the Class A heroes left, I kind of would consider all of them, when you are just maxing everything in SSS Plus, they are so similar in terms of like damage usability. When you just have the freedom to put whatever active cards, whatever passive EX cards, whatever cards you want on them, they're mostly about the same. There are a couple standouts in terms of specific mechanics where they shine in that I'll talk a little bit about. But for the most part, these heroes are basically all about the same that are left. Things that I wanted to talk about, first off is Momo. Every resonance tier of Momo gives her additional team support. So an SSS plus Momo with with her supported EX card, Dance with the Wind plus Mastermind, is going to just, it's basically as if like the other an agency. Like if they don't have damage boost, they have it now. If you're playing with a Momo, that's how it is. So that's Momo's shout out. She's really good as a support. I don't know, but if you do her Q weapon swap from Spear to Scythe, it is actually a very, very good grouping tool. All right, it will pull in enemies to you and hold them in place for about a second, and it's great if you happen to have, like, you know, All Might Endeavor or Stain doing that for you. She can actually group heroes or group mobs. I mean.
All right.
Little blurb on Momo. Another interesting thing is Robbie. I mentioned this a little bit in the previous one, but Robbie has this incredible, like 2-second burst window where you do an empowered W, you get 100% attack boost, and you do like 400% attack damage or something crazy from your SSS passive, and then say you pop like an Endeavor active or an All Might active, like all this stuff just compounds into a very, very concentrated burst window. I've seen 900k DPS in the opening of Force Training. I said it before, I'll say it again. She is very niche in this specific, like, huge burst for PVE purposes. So anywhere where you would want that, she would be good. Overall, though, not super great, but that on par with everyone else. And then Ochako as well has a big alpha strike where you do a meteor storm and float and just elite a trash pack really, really fast. But yeah, those are my like shout outs in terms of like maybe certain heroes that have like standout strengths at this point. But when you're at SSS Plus with your pick of cards, talents, chips, whatever, all these 1A heroes are roughly, you know, the same in terms of just overall usability and damage potential. And yes, that includes Ojiro. Okay, that includes Ojiro. SSS Plus Ojiro. I mean, he's SSS Plus. How bad can he be?
We'll
right?
see.
We'll see. Listen. The Whales did hard mode team up with a full team of Ojiros.
Yeah,
so again,
so
how bad can it actually be? Right?
Well, I don't know because
like,
it
these
didn't.
are all roughly, you know, they're all decent. They're all good enough here.
I don't know because they never showed how
super...
long it took them to finish it, so we don't know.
Finish
Maybe
it in time, bro.
Who knows how many tries it took? All right.
All right.
So we'll chuck them up all to C tier, and we'll just delete D tier.
All right.
All right.
All right. Finally, why do you have 2 Izals, by the way?
I like the first time that I made the tier list, I accidentally put 2 in, and this freaking tier maker doesn't let you remove one, which is ridiculous. But so it's just stuck there.
And for those of you saying, "Oh, I thought whoever was better than C," C and B are basically the same on this tier list. B just have like certain like outstanding qualities. I talked about it earlier. You can go back through the VOD to like really check what I said about them. But B and C are basically the same. Okay. The 3B heroes just have like certain like things that they can shine in. And even then, they're outshone by like S and A heroes. All right. So finally, Dobby the GOAT, SS plus Dobby. Should you pull for SSS plus Dobby? Dropped 10 grand on this villain. The clickbait title. Anyway, he is absolutely amazing. Like, SSS plus Dobby is crap. As far as I know, Dobby is actually the only hero in this like top tier list besides Ida that has just damage increase in terms of passives, like the SS passive, SSS passive, SSS plus passive. Every single tier is a damage increase oriented passive, and also all three of his talent trees are also damage increase passives, and all this shit just comes together and he becomes a nuclear explosion of damage. I think it's a little bit early to really parse out where exactly he fits into S rank, but he is definitely belongs up here. His damage is just so incredible.
Alright, it must be so satisfying to play him on Triple S Blasted. It's just, I don't know, I love him so freaking much.
I bet there are just screenshots of like 10 mil crit Qs floating around on the whale Discord, but I'm not in it, so I wouldn't know. But I'm sure there's definitely some 10 mil plus Q hits, man. It's crazy.
Alrighty. Okay. So, so this is then the finished PVE whale tier list. Let me take a screenshot because I always forget. Let me update now. Oh, what the hell did I do? What the fuck? So let me just update the other one, the general PVE tier list that we had before. And for those of you wondering, because we're not gonna go into Super Co-op and stuff like that, but I would personally probably put Dabi in when it comes to Super Co-op. On Warzone, I would put him maybe B tier, just because he's like a real glass cannon. He's exactly like Bakugo. He's just a glass cannon. You need to really know about positioning in Super Co-op to get the most out of him. Like you actually really need to know about that game mode. If you're like me, like you're absolute trash, he's just gonna die instantly. I tried him many times. I just can't make him work because it's just too fragile. He just you know, spinny motherfucker comes in and she just fucks him up. So yeah, it's just very tragic.
All Might just steps on his face and it's over.
I hate All Might.
Oh god. And I will say there's a caveat.
All right.
You know, most people's All Might's 70-80k BP right now. Most people's Dobby, you know, maybe 60k.
Yeah.
So, well, once he's caught up, it's probably gonna be different. But
we can only hope.
Yeah.
So yeah, so in the general PVE, we're just gonna put him on A+. I think he fits very well there. But yeah, for Super Co-op and Warzone, he's definitely going to be B tier, just because he's really struggles to stand on his feet. He's just like Bakugo, honestly. So wherever Bakugo is, he's probably gonna be there too. But yeah, if he can pop off, like again, exactly like Bakugo, right? If he can pop off in those modes, he will pop off. He is insane in that. If he can get his abilities off. But again, if you're facing a spinny motherfucker, you're done. So yeah. Also, I kind of like I don't remember where Shigi was in the Super Co-op / Warzone tier list, but I want to move him up to S. He's just so ridiculous. If he gets Nomu out, he's unstoppable. He 1v3s people in Warzone for me. It's just so friggin' insane. So yeah, so just those two side notes. And yeah, I think that's gonna be pretty much it. Somebody asked if we can make an auto a tier list for characters on auto. We can, but it's probably going to be next week or in a few days, because I don't think either of us really has a lot of experience just putting players on auto and observing them. I'm honestly, I just don't find that funny. Not funny, but entertaining. I just don't see, like, I don't understand. Like, I know there's a huge portion of the community that likes to play auto, because I get comments about it all the time, but it's just not my thing, really. So we can do a video for sure. It's just probably gonna be in a few days when we can test stuff out, because I have no idea.
Yeah. The only thing I know about auto is that it's literally just trash compared to manual, unless it's Froppy or Shiggy. And even then, Shiggy manual is actually much better than Shiggy auto, but it's just that Shiggy as a baseline is such a strong hero that his auto is good enough compared to other heroes' autos.
Yeah, yeah. It's just the fact that he's two characters in one. I feel like it's just so the great thing about Shigi in Auto, the reason why I think people actually like Shigi on Auto is that he, like, obviously since it's the AI, they like it has like extreme reaction times, right? Like, so
Yeah.
basically when he uses his normal abilities, he uses the enhanced Shigi abilities right away, immediately as they pop on, so he can cram more abilities. Whenever he pulls normal out, he just does more stuff.
I mean, even then, if you play him perfectly on manual, you will just do more. Because, like, I Shiggy auto a couple times, and the auto for some reason prioritizes with like W and W pursuit, but like if you play it manual, you can get twice as many like the hand clutch cutscene abilities.
Oh yeah.
That's like really where the majority of his damage.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, and he uses W like completely randomly. Pretty much whenever it's up, he just uses it, which is, you know, it's kind of
Even
trash.
if he's right next to them.
Yeah.
He's right next to him and just uses it.
Yeah, yeah. If it's up, he'll use it, which, you know, it's just one line of code. I'm pretty sure that they could change and it would make him so much better in auto, but even then, he's still pretty good.
Yeah. Alright. Thanks for having me, Jay. This was a pleasure.
Alright, well, thanks for stopping by. This was a pretty chill stream. It was pretty good. Hopefully the VOD does well. People are probably going to flip out whenever they move forward, because they obviously aren't going to... you know how people are on the internet. They're not going to read the title, and they're just gonna skip forward and see the whale tier list, and it's going to rain hell. But hopefully we can make it clear in the thumbnail and the title that this was a free-to-play and whale tier lists. And yeah, well, thank you for stopping by. Yuji will hopefully we'll have you next time too, whenever the next character drops. And yeah, this was really fun.
Yeah, for sure, dude. Have a good one.
Alright, see you later. Alright guys, so that's gonna be it for today's stream. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'm sorry I couldn't read chat like most of the time. You know guys, I usually read you, but you know, this time around we were just talking back, you know, having a back and forth basically with Yuji. It was really fun. It's really good to have insight from somebody that, you know, has a little more in-depth knowledge of the game. So yeah, hopefully, like I said, hopefully we can make the thumbnail and the title very clear in that this was a free-to-play PVE tier list and a whale PVE tier list, right? Because people are just gonna skip forward in the video and then they're just going to rage in the comments like they usually do. So I don't know, we'll see, I'll deal with that in a second. So this is pretty much how our regular PVE tier list is going to look like, right? Like just basically mixing everything up, not separating free-to-play and whales. This is just the tier list that we usually work with. Moving forward, I'm not sure. I'm just gonna have to like make a poll with you guys to ask you like, how do you want us to deal with it? Like, do you want me to keep using this one because it's just simpler, or do you want me to use the other two? Because the only thing, my only like a caveat with using the other two, right, is just that you know, it would be like a free-to-play PVE tier list. It's gonna be a whale PVE tier list. It's gonna be the PvP tier list, the Super Coop and Warzone tier list, and also the auto tier list if we do make that one. So it's gonna be a little bit much, but you know, like it's just gonna be a longer stream, so I don't mind. But yeah, guys, if you enjoyed, please leave a like. Subscribe. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to watch more streams and videos like this. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I'm really trying to get the Deku guide out, but it's taking a little bit of work. This week has been very chaotic with me. There was a storm yesterday. Today I got vaccinated, so like it's been a messy week, but I'm really trying. I feel terrible for Berserks because he's asked for the guide for a while now. But yeah, I'm gonna try and push out the Deku guide tomorrow. I'll try. No promises though. So yeah, leave a like, guys, if you enjoyed. Leave a comment. Subscribe if you like more streams and videos like this, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you so much for stopping by,